Good morning, welcome to Ag Talk and Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. Today what's on my mind is a lot of things. We've got some kind of a weird-ass Arctic bomb that's happening in the Midwest right now. It's moving towards us on the East Coast. Really not a good deal, man. Not a good deal. It's going to bring us, I believe, rain, not so much the snow that they're getting out there. And why do I not have my phone? Hey, Teresa, could you grab my phone? I think it's in there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to look to see where it's at. I do have a lot of work that needs to get done. Went to the parts counter at Binkley and Hurst out in Richland day before yesterday to get parts for my sprayer. Very important parts for my sprayer, like the pressure control valve, which is timed with the flow control valve, and it just opens and closes to allow more or less liquid to come out of the booms. Okay, so last year that thing broke. I repaired it, and it broke again. And at the end of the season, I just said to Dad, I says, you know what, just run it speed and flow. Because if you set your speed up, we'll just put it on manual, then you set the speed up, and then you run it to the gallons that you want. Now, it's not the most accurate way to do it, but we were just putting down fertilizer, and that was okay. So, forgot about it, of course, you know, when you get busy with life and stuff, and you forget about stuff, and then when you're ready to hook up to it again, your son or your father says, hey, you know what, that thing's still broke. It's like, damn. So I ended up at the parts counter because I've ordered that part twice now in the last couple of years. There's electronic switches in there, micro switches, little guys, and what the thing does is it goes open and closes, and it does its thing. It can only go so far, and then it shuts off. Well, when the automatic side of it isn't working or one of the switches doesn't work, it just continues to go until it shuts off, which is not a good thing. But anyhow, I've ordered it twice and gotten two separate parts, but none of the parts that I really need. And I do believe I took them back because for some reason they're not in my bucket. And I know what I had in my bucket was everything that I had. I have a special bucket. It's a Dello 1540 engine oil bucket that is filled with probably $5,000 worth of itty-bitty pieces. And those itty-bitty pieces that go to those Hardy sprayers are very expensive, so I kind of keep track of the bucket and what's in it. So I had to go to the counter, and I had to get the right one, and the guy behind the counter is like, well, we've never sold one of those. He says, we only sell the guts that goes inside of it. I was like, well, okay. I said, today's your lucky day because you're going to sell the whole thing. He says, well, it's expensive. It's like $500 and some odd. I said, yeah. I said, time is expensive, and when you're not putting enough fertilizer down or you're putting too much fertilizer down, that's pretty damned expensive too. So sell me the $500 and some odd part, and what I will do is I will take that piece out of there. I'll put the new piece in, and then I will go, the next time I go to Richland, I will make sure that I bring that part along, and I'll buy the little micro switches that go in there so that I have a spare, because I have two sprayers with two exact same rate controllers or pressure control meters on them, and that is, you know, just good practice to have more than one. So that's what I'm going to do there. Some things have changed on the farm here. I will not be borrowing a corn planter from my neighbor. He just changed his mind, and it's probably for the best anyway, because anytime someone borrows something from someone, it just gets haywire, like haywire. I don't want to run my 4-row corn planter. It's just too small and it'll be too time consuming. So I have located a corn planter in Kentucky, and I'm going to see if I can get my dad and my son Timothy and Joe, all three of them, to go out and pick this thing up so that they can drive through the night and one can poke the other when it gets a little tired. I doubt that Dad's going to want to do it, but I'm pretty sure that we can come up with an idea to get this thing, you know, home. It is a 12-row corn planter. So for the money that I'm going to spend and the money that the money that I'm going to spend on the planter and the parts to to get it up to par. It will just be mine. The difference between the borrowed one and the one that I'm buying is I still have to fix the borrowed one up, and I don't know how much work it needs. I really didn't. I didn't get that close to it, and it was a home-built frame with 7,000 row units on. So, am I going to end up breaking it? Am I going to end up fixing something that doesn't work as well as I'd like it to work? Possibly, but it doesn't matter now because I'm not borrowing the machine. I'm actually going to go buy one. If I can find a 6-row that's in good shape, I'll pay the amount of money that they're looking for the 6-row. And somebody's text messaging me because I heard the crickets. So that's pretty much where I'm at with the corn planter. The weather just obviously is not cooperating at all, and that's that. So I have pulled the sprayer back out of the building, and I have pulled the baler in. So the next videos that you're going to see coming up on One Lonely Farmer channel is the baler. Finding bits and pieces and realizing that the people that owned it before did not own a grease gun, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of greasable points on that thing, and they wear out very quickly if you don't grease them. So even though it only has 8,000 bales through it, it may have 80,000 bales worth of wear on the machine. Clutch plates are completely gone. They've slipped those completely. There's a spring and a bolt on the stuffer clutch that is completely missing, which reduces the amount of grab or pressure that it's supposed to have on it. The remaining springs that are on there are bottomed out. I'm telling you, I don't believe there's any clutch plate surface left on the damn thing. There is a muffler clamp holding the gib key that was welded, so I'm going to have to cut that off of there, the weld, and take the muffler clamp off. It just doesn't make any sense to me as to why this thing is in the shape that it's in. It's just Afro-engineered together, which is ridiculous. But anyway, we started work on that. I'm in it so far for $2,000. Probably going to put another $1,000 in new parts that I'm finding as we go. There's rollers. They're non-greasable rollers that are on the plunger, and 2 of them are worn pretty bad, and I've never seen them wear as bad as this. The knife is good, and the inside of the plunger is good, but those rollers have a rather large amount of wear to them, probably a 1/16 of an inch on the one and a 32nd on the other side, which gives you an 1/8 of an inch of clunk, 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 clunk in there. So when it's hitting, it just constantly does that. So I'm going to buy the roller and the bearings, and I'm going to put them together and make it work. We did put grease zerks in. You'll see that on the other channel. So preparations for tool truck. The tool truck is finished. It needs to get licensed and insured, and I'm going to load that. That'll be another series of things, to put up. I do have just a couple of small things that I need to do to that thing before I do deem it complete. Beautiful truck, though. I mean, the thing's running great. The seat needs to be repaired, and that's what's going on here. So, with the weather out west, I think it's going to drive the price of corn up. I really do. There are some diseases that are prevalent in the west that aren't prevalent in the east, that they're going to be dealing with because of wet weather. We have wet weather here, and it's really not such a big deal because of the types of varieties that we use. The ground that I farm is a heavy clay soil, so we can't plant corn until the ground is ready. And when I say ready, I mean not marginally ready. I mean 100% ready. It has to be nice and dry and warm in order to put that seed in the ground. If you jump the gun, you're going to end up with big problems, and nobody wants big problems. So that's just the way that's going to work. But yeah, seed corn will be going in the ground here, hopefully about the 10th to the 15th of May. That's when things really warm up and get ready to rock and roll for corn anyway. But I will be killing off the grass that's there before that happens. As a matter of fact, I'm going to kill it off like right now, as soon as it greens up a little better than what it is, and I can get on the ground. But yeah, so anybody that's out in the Midwest is suffering because of this weather, just hang in there. The weather will break. Don't panic. Don't be foolish and throw the seed in the ground before the ground is ready. It will hurt you in the long run. I've grown corn and soybeans before in the past, and the worst corn and soybeans I ever had was when I was in a hurry and I cut corners and looked at the calendar. You can put corn in on the 20th of June and still have a better stand than you would have if, say, you put it in on the 20th of April. And that's just the way it is. Variety choice is a big deal there too. Still looking into what the best chemistry for what I'm going to be doing is. I'm thinking Prowl H2O. I don't really want to use atrazine, but if I have to, I will. I like Prowl. I've used it in the past. It's good residual. The recovery, I mean, if I do get some late or pre-canopy weeds that come in, I'm going to be using Ignite or Liberty herbicide just to clean that up before the canopy, and probably put it in, put drop nozzles on, drop that stuff right down into the row if the weather permits, or if it's even necessary. I will not be around for that at that time. I don't know. I probably will come up to do it. I mean, it's only 200 acres. I can knock it out in a day if I get 200 acres in. With everything that's going on around here, it just seems like I got one problem after another, which is normal for farming. So, yeah. And I don't even think I have my microphone plugged in, do I? I do not. How silly and stupid is that? Maybe that should be better. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I think I got a microphone here now. USB. Yeah. I think I've got it now. Whatever. One way or the other. Yeah. You should have it. So, I'm sorry if the first part of this video is crappy. Output device, internal speakers, producer USB. I don't know what the hell that is. No. Internal speakers. Those are speakers, but I don't see the microphone. Maybe. Nope. We're good. Alright, so, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about corn. Yeah. I hope everybody's geared up and ready to go for when the weather does break. Make sure you kick the tires and light the fires when it is time to do that, because let's face it, it's going to be a late start. Everybody's going to have a late start. I haven't even thought about tillage yet. I do have to get my chisel plow up and going. It's no big deal. I used it last spring. I did change some twist shovels. Probably going to change a few more because I know that I think I had enough to do what I needed to do. But what I did was I dropped them down, and with these higher horsepower tractors pulling a 14-shank chisel plow, it's really, it's devastating to the twist shovel if you've got it too long. And it just, it's just better to change them out. And they're not expensive. You can get those things anywhere, from John Deere to Shoop catalog, and I mean, you're going to pay for the shipping on them, but big deal. I don't have any local companies that are close enough that even carry a standard or generic twist shovel for those. I might be able to get them at a DNR, but other than that, I'd have to drive 2-3 hours to get what I need, and that sucks. So, and it is a bush hog chisel plow. Believe it or not, bush hog made a chisel plow. But yeah, once I get it killed off and the soil is ready to turn over, then I'll hit it with the chisel plow. And then I'll run my disc over it, let it settle for a couple of days. I do have a 14-foot Cullipacker that I could run ahead of it just to get that stuff leveled out and nice, but I don't think I need to have that much effort into it. But for the most part, I think we're only a good day's work on equipment away from being able to plant corn. With what I have, the corn planter, who knows? Once I get that thing in, it's going to be a crapshoot. Let's put it that way, because you just really have to, you just really have to have your corn planters fine-tuned and ready to go. If if you skips and doubles cost you money. You don't gain anything by putting two seeds next to one another. You only lose. So perfect spacing is important, and 30-inch rows are important to what I'm doing this year because I need the stalk mass. I need a lot of stalks. That's for the composters who are purchasing the stalks. So anyway, I should probably go and look at some of the comments that were on the last video that I made, because it just something that I haven't really done too much in the last few videos. I've just kind of done this on the fly with simple I've done this on the fly. I haven't even, let's say we go home. I'm looking for my videos, and why is this thing not this is ridiculous. Community channels, what is going on? Uploads, all uploads. I am on a different channel. Ag Talking Raw, my channel. What the heck? My computer's going nutso. Okay. Alright, so let's go with videos, and we're going to do April is Here. And I think that was the last one that I did. I did that on April 6th. It is now the 11th, so I'm slightly behind in my uploads. I try to do these things pretty regularly, like twice a week. So, okay. I guess the last subject that I was talking about on here was the charities, and how you may want to look into the charitable organization you're donating to before you actually donate, because you can cause yourself some heartache, I guess, because when you realize that the donations that you give to these, say, Red Cross or whatever else you're donating to, and the Red Cross is probably one of the worst ones for this. They take in a large amount of money, and they only allocate 2% of those funds to the people that you're supposed to be helping. So in order for a person to get say 98 or 100, all right, suppose there's $100 million dollars donated to the Red Cross, only $2 million of it goes to the people that are suffering. The rest goes to administration costs and upgrades. When the Twin Towers came down, it was really brought to the attention of the American public how much was actually kept by these charitable organizations, the Red Cross. There was the largest donations went to the Red Cross than ever before, because people were like, oh my God, help these families. And then the Red Cross updated their computers. They did all kinds of crazy stuff. And then that's when the truth actually was exposed as to how these charitable organizations work. Now, there are some organizations out there, and I think the reason I was talking about that was because Millennial Farmer had posted he had donated $100 to the 4-H club, which is great. Kids need to understand what it's like in agriculture, or to be around animals and stuff. And if you're already on the farm, if you're already a farm kid, and 4-H, is it for you? Yeah, I guess it is, but I think 4-H is more geared for the city kid, which could grow up and just have absolutely no understanding where their food comes from, and then become members of PETA, which, when you donate to PETA, 100% of that goes to fighting agriculture, because those people are fucking stupid. But did I use the F word? I'm sorry. Well, not really. This is my channel, and I can use that. So if there's any virgin ears out there, or kids that have never heard the F word, I'm sorry. I've introduced you to a language that you probably shouldn't be, repeating. All right, so that's Ross McLean's question. I 100% agree with you regarding charities. We have the same issue in the United Kingdom. I think it's worldwide, and that's why it is so difficult to get into that club. and when I call it a club, it's a club. So when you do these, say, if you start a nonprofit charity organization, and you see that the CEO is making $100 million or $300 million a year, they make it very difficult. You have to be approved. It's a very long process to do so. Even to do a raffle for your local wrestling club, because I coached wrestling for several years. I wasn't the greatest coach, but I had a lot of fun with the kids. And, I just took the lead from the head coach. I was just an assistant coach, but I really loved the kids that I was coaching. And if there were any of them were watching this, it was some of the funnest times of my life, because I had my kids with me, and, of course, I got to enjoy other kids as well. So, but I also knew the inner workings of, say, those raffles, get the raffle tickets and stuff. And a lot of money was handed out through that. But there was also a lot of money that was retained. So if there was, $5, $6, $8, $10,000 in the kitty, it was half of it went to the half. Actually, it was a 50% deal, which was great. I was all for that, because it was the wrestling club, and there were people that were donating a lot of time to the wrestling club, and so the raffle took a lot of time and effort to get, and they didn't want to let it lapse, so we did that. But 50% of it went to the winner, and the other 50% went to the club. So at the end of a wrestling tournament, maybe it was $200 or $300 that was collected, and $100, $100 to $150 went to the person that won the actual raffle ticket. I played the raffles. I did. I never won. Even if I did win, I would have donated it back to the wrestling club, because I thought that it was great. It was a good thing to do. But anyways, if Andy from Farming, Fixing, and Fabrication happens to show up, please do not let him operate any drones. He has a history of bad things happening. Sorry, Andy. I don't know. Is Andy watching this? Because it's kind of funny. Bob Arch, well said, Bob. So Andy must have crashed a drone or something. I have no idea. For some reason, I do not watch Farming, Fixing, and Fabrication. I have seen some of the videos. I don't subscribe to everybody's videos, because I have limited time. And most of the time that I have on YouTube is to create content for my viewing public. And not saying that there is that I'm arrogant about it. I think that everyone that wants to put their stuff out there should do it. It just doesn't mean that I'm going to watch it. I may catch a video or two. It doesn't mean I'm going to subscribe, because, good God, if I subscribed to every channel that wanted me to subscribe to it, my inbox would be full, and I would only see 1/1,000,000th of what I would like to see. Not saying that your content's bad or not, but I'll pick and choose who I want to subscribe to. Jeremy Nunn, thank you. This is probably one of my oldest subscribers. I got to say, Jeremy and I have conversed back and forth for years, and he's in Queensland, Australia, and he's extended his hospitality to me. Anytime I want to stay at his place in Australia, that I'm welcome. So that's great, and I knew that because he's a good guy. Most of the time when you have a weird light problem, it's usually the grounding, and that is in reference to the truck. Yes, I had my ground wrong, and I will explain that right now. The ground, okay, when I was a kid, I didn't have any formal training on how to wire stuff, but my father always said, if there's a green, it's a ground. And if there's a white, that could also be a ground, but only a designated ground if there is no green. And that is the way it is in 4-wire hookups for electrical. So if you got a 220 with 4 plugs, you have the white goes to neutral, the green is also a ground, and then you're black, you're red. Okay, black and red are, unless you're doing a 3-way switch, then black and red and white are all used, and your ground is still your ground, but it is a neutral wire. Alright, so, and I've wired a lot of things with 3-way switches. So, the truck, it had white wires going to both sides, and it also went to the backup lights. But, now, this is where it was late at night, and I was still recovering from jet lag, and I'm like, okay, there's green here. this color green, and then there's the dark green, which should go to the right side of the truck. The right side, which would be I think the turn signals or something. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, I got 2 green wires, and there's green wires. So I used the light green as a ground. And for about an hour, I fiddled with this thing, trying to figure out why in the hell my backup lights were coming on while using this green wire. Then I realized that the green wire, the light green wire, was actually going to the backup lights. Bang! So when I changed it around that the white wire was the ground wire, everything worked perfectly. So I got it back. This guy says, I swear you have acid reflux disease every vid. You look like you're about to throw up at some point. LOL, great vid. I do have acid reflux. I've taken probiotics to cure this. I was on a product, and I still have it here someplace. And it is called, I'm sure it's still in here. It was called Nexium. So, I don't generally go to the doctor, but I went to the doctor for this. Doctor says, oh, take Nexium. I'm like, oh, really? He says, yes, it's safe to use. It's an over-the-counter drug, and you can use it. Great. So I'm taking Nexium every day. Pop the little pill. I'm here. We're doing my job. Pop the little pill. If you look back on my videos from, say, 2014, 2013, 2014, you will notice that I am kind of fat. You know, my face is swollen. I felt like my boobs, I don't have boobs. I actually have not too bad of a chest for being 46 years old, and I do have a six-pack abs, kind of like a four-pack. You know, I do have a little bit of a pouch here, but back then I had nothing. I was like, really, my muscle tone had gone away. My arms, I was still strong with my arms and stuff, but I just felt really sluggish, and then my heart would start doing that AFib thing. It would start palpitating. And when I really noticed it the most was when I was in Belgium in 2014 with my daughter. I thought I was going to end up in the hospital. The reason I thought I was going to end up in the hospital was because my heart was racing and pounding and doing all these crazy things. And I thought I was drugged from the food cart that I had eaten from only like an hour before. So I came home and I'm like, man, there is really, really something wrong. So I went online and I started researching. The only drug that I was taking was Nexium. I took nothing but Nexium, and okay. So I look at Lyme disease because I've had that in the past, and I knew that would do this. But Nexium will cause the lack of muscle tone, unexplained weight gain after prolonged use of it, and it will also cause heart palpitations. And I'm telling you, you'd feel it. I would cough. It would, when my heart would skip beats and stuff. So, and that's a telltale sign of your heart skipping a beat. And then I could feel it flutter in my chest. So I'm like, holy fuck, what should I do here? So, of course, I stopped taking the Nexium, and the acid reflux came back, like, immediately. Immediately, the day after I stopped taking that, boom, I got acid reflux. So, since then, I have contacted or consoled with my IT girl, who just so happens to be a health coach and a holistic health coach, and she uses these products. And I know there's people out there that think that the video that I did the other day on the Secretagogue was a scam or a hoax or clickbait, or what was the last one? A scam. Yeah, a scam. It's not a scam. I've used this stuff now for months. I feel great. I don't have the heart palpitations at all. That stopped at about in the midway through 2015. I really didn't tell too many people that I was doing that, because I had literally poisoned myself with Nexium. Nexium was designed to take for no longer than 90 days. 90 days. That is 3 months. You are supposed to do other things. Prilosec is another one. I think Zantac, I think, is the other one for your acid reflux. I started taking Bacteria, good bacteria in isotonics. Which is for it promotes a healthy gut. A lot of problems with human beings is their gut, and they don't even realize it. Unexplained weight gain, bad gut. Chronic diarrhea, bad gut. You got bad gut, you got problems. Heart problems, bad gut. Bad breath, bad gut. So through the years of having this heartburn, which was brought on by stress, by a divorce that I had back in 2004, 5, my ex-wife, of course, you all know the story that she was cheating on me with a guy from the internet. My children are all adults now, and they can handle the truth as to what really happened, even though they never really did get the full truth. I have a book that I wrote down in all my experiences with her, but whatever. I was under tremendous amount of stress, and that's when the heartburn really started, and I had it for years. Now, my health coach, or my health holistic health coach, Miss Deborah Hill, she said for every year that you have had this acid reflux, it is going to take at least a month of using the isotonics to get that under control. Call it isotonics. It is basically it's the good bugs that are in your stomach. She says, take this, and she gave it to me, and of course that afternoon I had what you would consider sulfur gas. Sulfur gas. When you fart, it smelled like somebody dropped a sulfur bomb. And I'm telling you, that was a telltale sign of the kill-off of the bad bacteria that is in your stomach. Now, you have to replace the bad bacteria with good bacteria. Bad bacteria kills good bacteria. There is a severe imbalance in my body from bad bacteria with good bacteria, which also results in acid reflux disease. So, when I talk, and I talk a lot, air will go down my esophagus, and it will actually go into my stomach. That is a very common thing for many people, and it just so happens to be something that I have. So when I talk a lot, I actually build up air in my stomach, and that causes me to burp. And I'm sorry if that offends people. Well, not really. I'm not really sorry that it offends people. If it offends you, please. There's a nice little button over here. I believe it is red. Let me look. I believe it's red. It is the unsubscribe button. I do not need you here. You do not need to watch my videos. I do not care if you are subscribed to me or not. Okay? So if you can't stand the disgusting burping noise that you get when I have an acid reflux or a buildup of air in my stomach, and it usually happens when I'm standing more than when I'm sitting. If I drink coffee, which I drank my coffee over an hour ago, so my stomach has actually settled down. I drink 1 cup a day. I like coffee, so I do it. But if I drink coffee and then start talking, the coffee actually softens the little flap at the bottom of your stomach, which allows air to go down. Okay, but being as I've already drank my coffee over an hour before I started this video, you won't see this. Yeah, I'm not burping. So I hope I've explained this well enough for you. Not that I should have to. I just really wish that either you knock it off with the stupid comments and go back in videos and watch those and hear the explanation, or just sit back and enjoy the content versus, the way I have to relieve myself. This isn't national television, it's YouTube, for Christ's sakes. Okay, do you think the combines can keep your crew busy? The combines that will be rolling down at the straw job will keep my crew busy. I have a problem with the combines and my balers. I will be baling 40 feet of straw at 7 to 9 miles per hour. They are taking 40-foot draper headers and they're putting it into one row. I will be able to go between 7 and 9 miles per hour in straw. The problem with the combines is they only go 4.5 to 5.5 miles per hour. That's all the faster they can go. So if I start on the first farm, oh wait, there you go. If you start on the first farm, see, I had to say something, didn't I? If I start on the first farm, I'm going to be trailing behind the combines, waiting for them to catch up, or waiting for them to get ahead of me. I'm probably going to allow them to get ahead of me by a couple of hours before I start, so that I'm not right up their ass. Because when you get up behind a combine, they're going to be like, oh man, he's pushing me, and he's going to push it, and he's going to have problems because he's going to want to be going fast enough to get this off because everything in the back of his mind is soybeans, soybeans, soybeans. I get this off, that farmer gets this contracting crew gets this stuff off of my field, I have to have that drill in the field. Or the drill will be waiting at the edge of the field for me already. But I don't want to be pushing the farmer. I'd rather have the farmer saying, boy, I hope he can catch up to me, and then realize by the end of that 500-acre field, I'm up his ass, and the stack wagon is right behind us. So I'm hoping that that's how it goes. So, yeah, I think we're going to be busy. They're dropping me into a section that has over 6,000 acres in it already that is contracted to be done. So 6,000 acres, I expect to chew through that in about 4 weeks. That leaves me with another 2 to 4 weeks to go. I would love for all the neighbors to see how we're making out and how we're doing and say, hey, can you come do ours as well? And I'd be like, here's the phone number you need to call to make this deal. And my guy, the guy that hired me to do this, will go right there and say, yes, sir, no problem, sir. We will do this just like his, and we'll see you tomorrow. And that's how that's going to go. So, yeah, that's how it's going to be. It's a bad ground for sure. You guys were correct on that. Liberty, burn down herbicide, no residual, may have to respray if you get another flush of weeds, use 20 gallons to the acre. Absolutely, I've used this in the past. I have used Liberty herbicide in the past, years ago on corn. It was on corn, but that was before it was a triple stack variety. These are triple stack varieties. They were only, you could either get Roundup or you could get Liberty. And we were using Roundup Ready soybeans at the time, so this year we would use Roundup or Liberty corn. Next year we would put Roundup soybeans in behind the corn, and it was a good program. We never had residual weeds or resistant weeds, not residuals, but resistant weeds. We always used like Dual with atrazine. Dual, and we'd spike it with atrazine. I believe we put about a quarter pound of atrazine in with the Dual to bring it up to the level where the atrazine was at its maximum amount for the control we needed. But we did also have, Carl is there, so I'm going to have to go. We did also have to come back in and on a recovery, we would get these little button weeds, which just so happened to be velvet leaf, of all things. Velvet leaf and lamb's quarter. So if you know anything about Roundup resistant weeds, lamb's quarter is like right there. Mare's tail, lamb's quarter, giant ragweed. Those are the big bad boys. Those are the ones that come in. So I have used Roundup after Liberty was bought out by many different companies. DeKalb was bought up by Monster. I think DeKalb. DeKalb. Maybe it was Dobler's. No, it was DeKalb. DeKalb was bought out from DuPont and, well, whatever. Liberty was like a non-existent thing for a couple of years, and it was very hard to get the seed if you could get it at all, and we went all to Roundup, leaving Liberty behind. And we started getting, Roundup-resistant mare's tail later. So those seeds are still out there. It doesn't matter. The hay crop is there, but those seeds are still out there. So they don't unresistance themselves. They just sit there and they grow and they reproduce more resistant seeds. So we're definitely going to go with the Liberty herbicide. But anyways, Carl is at the farm. My father's loading him. So I am going to say ta-ta for now. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. And don't forget to subscribe. It is free. And it just pisses me off that YouTube does not allow my subscriber count to climb at all. It is still at 11,200 and God knows what for the last 3 months. Even though in the analytics I gain 400 to 600 subscribers every month now. I'm stuck there at 11,239, I think. Where is that? I think I could find that real quick. I have, let's say we go back here. Hold on. I want to see what it is anyway. I have 11,299 subscribers, and it's been that way for 3 months. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.